Hi there, my name is Miss Meyer. I'm one of the social work interns at Garden Oaks under Miss K, who is a school social worker. Today I'm going to be talking about ADHD in children. This presentation provides a very basic overview of what ADHD is and the important information about how Garden Oaks can help your child. I'm going to be trying to make this presentation as fun, as interactive as possible. So before I get into the information that I want to present, I'm going to want us to kind of reflect about what ADHD is. So what do you personally know about ADHD? What does ADHD mean to you? And do you have any concerns if you were told by a professional that your child was diagnosed with ADHD? Please take out a pen and pencil and a piece of paper to either write down these answers or just take some time to reflect in your head. So, what is ADHD? ADHD is the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So, this affects young children and occurs primarily in childhood. Symptoms do continue into adulthood for more than half of the children, but not all of them. And this is more commonly diagnosed. So, when looking at the chart, there's predominantly inattentive, predominantly hyperactive, and there's a combined presentation. And so, listed below are the symptoms. So, in order to make the diagnosis, there has to be 6 or more symptoms for 6 months or more before the age of 12. And this needs to happen in 2 settings. So, the school and at home, or the daycare and at home. ADHD is more frequent in males than in females, but females are more likely than males to have the primarily inattentive features. So let's walk through the chart together. So under the predominantly inattentive, we have no close attention to details / makes careless mistakes. So this can be seen in homework, schoolwork, anything like that. Difficulty sustaining attention, either when you're trying to talk to your child, when the teacher's trying to talk to the child, when anyone's trying to talk. Not listening when spoken to directly. Not following instructions or not finishing activities. Difficulty with organizing. Sustained mental effort is hard, so oftentimes the child will try to avoid it. Losing items for school. This can either be homework, school supplies, pens, pencils, papers. Seems distracted and is forgetful. For the predominantly hyperactive, we have fidgets or squirms in seat. Leaves the seat frequently. Runs or climbs when it isn't appropriate. Unable to play quietly. Is often on the go. Talking excessively. Blurting out answers. Difficulty taking turns. Interrupts or intrudes on others. And for the combined presentation, this is looking at features from both. So this is predominantly inattentive and predominantly hyperactive. And again, 6 or more symptoms. So one of the hot topic issues is medication. Do you medicate your child or do you not? And this really is a personal choice. I am going to talk about the benefits of medication, but there again are more than one option when it comes to working with your child. So medication reduces inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. It can either it's either stimulatives or non-stimulatives. And the treatment is tailored to the individual. This helps a person so they can function more effectively and manage the symptoms. Sometimes the first medication that they're prescribed might not be the right one, or they may need a higher dosage. And there's medication, as seen in the chart, that lasts 4 hours, or the longer lasting medications that can be 6 to 8 hours or even 10 to 12 hours. Side effects do happen. They're often mild and short term, but they are listed in the chart there. And again, when prescribing medication, there needs to be a collaborative effort between the patient and the caregivers. So this is monitoring the symptoms, either parents, guardians, teachers, anyone who comes in contact with the kid. Medications can affect appetite and sleep, so that's important to be aware of. And then again, besides medication, there are behavioral treatments that can help: eating a good diet and getting exercise and getting adequate sleep. So in the chart, you can kind of see the different types of things with ADHD, but I would like to point out the things besides medication, and that's again, family interventions, including communication and parenting issues. There's family support groups that are out there dedicated for families who have someone in their family who has ADHD. There's programs that help encourage self-esteem, enhancing activities, and academic skill building, and even social skill building as well in the child, as through teaching social skills. So what does ADHD look like? I've included 2 examples from ADHD.com, and you can please feel free to look at those. But the first one, it has this person walking dogs through the responsibilities, and everything seems to be going well. They're humming, everything is a-okay. The second person, though, who's walking the dogs are all over the place. The second image shows ADHD bingo. You can check off the things that your child shows, the symptoms, but that's not necessary. When it comes to school performance, school can be challenging for a child. There's often a failure to understand or follow the rules, not because the child is lazy or just because they don't care. It's just there's a failure to understand. This leads to lower average marks, more failed grades, more expulsions, increased dropouts, and there's a lower rate of college attendance. They're missing important things during class time that the teacher's saying, and sometimes they even disrupt class. This is not to say that the child is not a good student. It's just there's things that the symptoms are very present. So let's talk about tips and tricks that you can do as a parent or guardian. Really, when working with children in general, it's important to be very specific and praise your child. So this is seen through setting measurable and specific goals that your child can accomplish. So for example, instead of saying, "Oh, take out the trash," you would say, "Can you please take out the trash on Friday from the kitchen, moving it from the kitchen to outside our outside bins around the house?" So it's more specific, gives more details, sets a time when it needs to be done. And you can even say at 6 p.m. It's also important to read up on how ADHD affects children. There's so much more information out there, and this presentation is just a little snippet of what's available. It's important to provide specific feedback based on the child's behavior instead of saying, "Oh, you're doing it wrong," or "Oh, you're a bad kid." You just need to make sure you're telling your child specifically, "Please don't hit someone," or "Please don't grab the pencil from my hand." Because we all know that your child doesn't mean to do these bad behaviors. Setting clear expectations, again, is going into the clear communication, making sure the child is able to successfully follow the goals and expectations that you're needing to set. Spending time with your child every day without distractions. Distractions include your phone, your email, the TV, anything besides you and your child. So just sitting down 5 minutes a day, just talking with your child. Hey, how's your day been going? How was school? Walk me through what you did. Just making sure that communication is open and there. And working with Garden Oaks, we're here to support you. That includes the teacher, the social worker, and other school staff. So now I'm going to be talking about the accommodations that by law we're required to support you, your child, and the family. So by law, Garden Oaks has to provide services to your child, and your child, if they are able to, can receive Section 504 services. Each 504 plan is unique to the child, but I have provided an example of what services your child may receive who has ADHD. Please reach out to Ms. K for more information. Her contact information is listed on the last slide. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the accommodations that are in this Section 504 accommodations. So you have the preferential seating away from distractions, visual aids, supplemental aids. You have step-by-step directions, checking for understanding, shortened assignments, and extra time to finish assignments. And again, with the behavior, as I mentioned before in the tips and tricks section, setting clear rules, consequences, and expectations helps a child. So this is a little fun quiz exercise just to make sure that you've been able to follow along and learn something in the presentation. So what is ADHD? Is it A, occurs primarily in childhood? B, is a unique diagnosis? C, means my child isn't smart? Or D, only treated through medication? And the next question is, what can Garden Oaks do to help my child? A, nothing. B, give your child a sticker. Or C, provide accommodations through 504 services. So the answer for the first one is A, occurs primarily in childhood. The answer for the second question is C, provide accommodations through Section 504 services. The third question is, when it comes to medication, A, I must medicate my child. B, it is my choice as a parent to either medicate or not medicate my child. C, I don't need to monitor the medication once it is prescribed. The fourth and final question is, ADHD is something that A, my child will just get over once they are older. B, means that my child is lazy or not trying hard enough. C, only affects boys. Or D, none of the above. So the answer for the third question is B, it is my choice as a parent to either medicate or not medicate my child. And the answer for the fourth question is D, none of the above. Here are some resources that I've included in the presentation that you can just feel free to look at to go in more depth about what ADHD is and what resources are available for you guys. And again, here's another section for resources. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. Miss K, who is the Garden Oaks Montessori School social worker, is available through email. I've included her email down below. Again, I've also included my email as well. And again, it's important to realize that when working with children with ADHD, is you have to look at them through a strengths-based perspective. So instead of saying, oh, my child is lazy, oh, my child isn't smart enough, you should be saying, oh, my child tries really hard in, say, art. Or, oh, my child is really good at math. And so just making sure you're praising your child. They know that they're valued. They know that they're able to do things and follow through on directions is really important. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Again, please feel free to reach out to either Miss K or I if you have any more questions. Thank you so much.